What's going on, everybody? Ian Walsh, Ryan Walsh here, Hard Money Bankers, letting you guys in on the market secrets or the lack thereof. And last night, Ryan had an event. How'd that go last night, Ryan? You did an event for SJ RIA.
SJ RIA, awesome event. I was shocked by how many people were there. It was packed. There's people standing in the back. So it was a really good event.
Good.
Definitely. Anyone in real estate needs to check out that event.
That's the Cherry Hill SJ RIA one.
It was in Cherry Hill. Yeah, this one was. Roland Jefferson invited us, so it was really good. You had wholesalers just pitching their deals, and then everybody, the audience is all asking what's going on, and then they said, hey, lender, what do you see? And I would just say, hey, I can give you X amount of dollars on this one for tomorrow. So it's pretty cool to see it happen, just in real time. It's kind of like almost like you're at like an auction, like 350, 450.
Yeah.
It's cool.
I've done those before. I've had mixed. Depends how it's presented. I think is the most important thing.
Yeah, I gave kudos to the wholesalers because we see wholesale deals every day. 10 come in just from emails, and the numbers are always ridiculous. But the wholesalers they had there had pretty good numbers, so I gave them kudos. It wasn't just overpriced, made up numbers coming in. So
okay, do you have pictures?
I did. Yeah, they'll be up on Facebook today here.
All right, yeah. Let me tag when it's ready, and then we'll have all our viewers take a look and love it.
Yeah, no. When we were there, I won't name names, but a gentleman came up to me and said, "Hey, I'm watching your show. Should I be selling everything? And is now the time to buy?" And I just said, it's kind of a cliche answer. I just said, you buy low.
Time to buy. I don't know about time to buy, but
I think he meant property. Actually, I didn't think that. Maybe he meant the stock market. But I said, if you buy low, it's always the right time to buy. Now, I think that's kind of a cop-out answer because what does low actually mean now, right?
Yeah.
But it is the truth. I don't know what low. I can't tell you what low means as much as I wish.
It's low relative to what the value the market sees the value of is at the moment. But low is always in perspective. Low, Bitcoin low at 20,000 is low, but a year ago it was not low. So it's just relative to where you are right now in this moment. That's all you can go on. You can't go on the projected future. You can't go on the beating yourself up in the past. You can only go on what that value is right now. So that's good. Also, I watched the Larry Steinhaus and Jeff Van Note argument or battle yesterday, or whatever the hell I want to call it. I would say Larry tried. Larry definitely tried to get in there and take some jabs, but then they became friends at the end. I guess what did I expect? I didn't expect somebody to actually go home bloody, right?
Of course, Larry's gonna do that. He's
yeah. But I was I don't know who this Jeff guy is, but I did make comments in the post asking hey, this is the guy that was trying to call out our 24-hour closings. I knew he looked familiar for some reason, but they didn't Larry didn't talk about it, so maybe he'll start another fight with it. So anyway, so we have the market in context today. So here's where we are. As we've been saying since the very beginning, this is all a fake downward movement, and you should be buying the dip.
Do you have something on the screen? Okay, there we go.
So we've been saying since the very beginning, buy the dip, right? We never said this is not going to be a dip right now. So, but the thing I've definitely learned about trading is I can trade what I'm seeing, and you trade the charts no matter what you think. So I made good money on this bearish move. And now as I'm looking at it, I go, whether I want to be a bull or not, I'd have to say, I'm bullish on the move because we took out the triangle that we had talked about. It's done. There's no triangle left. So this right here, that's been fully broken out of. And you get yourself into, I drew two are separate. So the blue lines here, down, up would make for what the bulls are looking at, which is a W or a double bottom for the blue line, or these blue W lines. And that's confirming. If you're a bear, you'd be looking at the orange lines, trying to make an M or a double top. Well, and this line right here is the big, kiss of death line. So,
which has been the start of the whole show.
Which started the whole show.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and you had to cross in order to determine if the Bulls or the Bears were going to win. You had to cross these candles here with these circles and the line straight across. So by all means, the Bulls have won the war. So the Fed has just said, I don't care what your show is saying. We're just going to pump money, and that's it. That's basically what they did. As I looked at the charts today, I was like, man, we are like really close. Like as I'm looking, as a trader. So when you look at the charts, you kind of look at what grabs you first, because that also likely grabs what other traders are looking at first. Like what you just see, what is just obvious right there is not made up. Like that's what the obvious is, what other traders are seeing or what they're targeting. And I was like, man, the thing that is really speaking to me today is like the reach for all-time highs are like, I can see it. Like I can see it happening. If you look at the daily chart and I go, okay, are all-time highs in play? I'm like, and this chart is actually from yesterday. We're actually higher than this right now. So your all-time highs are like just right here. I'm like, man, this is just like that other trend line down here was in play. When we got down there, the all-time highs are in play. So I personally think we're going to go see those all-time highs again at this point. If I'm a betting, player, that's what I'm saying. It's still odd. A couple things that are still super odd and left out there to me are these two gaps. They don't get like gaps fill. You always fill gaps. So at some point, it's going to have to come back down here. I don't know whether we get the all-time highs first or not, but those gaps aren't going to just sit there. They're very odd gaps, and there's two of them in a row, which is even more odd. I also don't think that we're going to get as close as we did to this end of the world line right here without going to see it. Now, it may not be in this swing that we're looking at now, because we may go to just straight up to the all-time highs and then go revisit that whole idea. We may on Monday, due to Mark Weiser, still have the anniversary of the market crash occur. But the reality is, from a chartist perspective, we are in a bull move now. And if you're a bear, you have broken your back. You've either liquidated your position or you're sweating so much that you're about to lose your account. So, hopefully you had a tight stop as a bear if you were trying to hold this and you got out and you lived to fight another day. So let's hope not, Mark. So Mark's here. Mark, did you get your rice? It's never a bad idea to have the rice from Walmart. So right now, though,
so you got 5-year protection of a crash.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a 5-year protection plan. But as far as we go right now, from a chartist, specifically a chartist perspective, the bulls are in control. I would expect anywhere between now and the all-time highs. You see typically what you see in a move like this, you get your W move, and then when you kind of break through, you make kind of a lot of times a pullback and then a move straight up like this. So you kind of retest this area and then go again if it's a really strong move. And they call it a dragon pattern because it kind of forms a dragon. So patterns are just what they are. But
it's like constellations.
Yeah, I mean, patterns are just what people are seeing. I used to look at all like the when I first got in, I would used to look for the most like exotic patterns and stuff, and then I realized like it's just self-fulfilling prophecies, and like if anybody else is actually looking at this crazy pattern, it's like me and two other people. So it doesn't work. So the other thing is, so from a chartist perspective, you're a bull. But again, there was a couple of things, the gaps that need filled. We have the anniversary coming up. All-time highs need to be hit with higher volume than prior. And I will, as we get closer to the 24th, or we get closer to all-time highs, I'll bring up the volume to see what we're looking like, because you need more participation at the all-time highs to convince people that this is a move that is in fact like there's validity to it. There's more participants. There's commitment to the move. And then the other thing that's holding us, in question at the moment, honestly, is Evergrande and the supply chain and the inflation situation. Like they didn't go away yet. Like even though we're in a bull move, it could mean that they're going to release news soon to say so, but usually the news comes first or right after a big move. What do you think of that, right? Like there's a big conflict or, inversely proportionate scenario here between the actual chart and then the fundamental news underneath of it.
I mean, I think something like that almost always existed. You always have something that you're like, man, if this goes sideways, like the market's going to go. So right now, yeah, it's Evergrande. It's the supply shortage, right? And I don't think it's any different than what we've been saying since day one, saying, hey, we're the weathermen here. We're reporting a storm. I think it shows that it dodged New Orleans in this case, right? Like it went past New Orleans, but we're not saying the storm's gone, right? It's something that could come back at any time and hit land. So it's still there, still looming. But as we always say, price doesn't lie, right? So right now, the investors are showing they're not fearful of it, and until that news comes out, I think the bulls might keep going here.
Yeah, I don't. It's more to me what I would say. I know when I don't know, and I know when I do know. I would say I don't know something that's going on. I know what's going on the chart, but I don't know what's going on underneath the chart. Other than what I like, the news headlines that I have, the things that don't make sense to me. But it doesn't have to make sense to me when price is the ultimate factor. So, the question is like, what's behind the scenes? That part I'm not connecting. It's obvious. I'm not a fundamental trader. Like I don't trade. That's very low on my priority list of like what I'm like hedging against. But the fundamentals, there's something there that has to be, when it lines up with price. Right now you have these moves that we're calling very easily on the way down is because price and the fundamentals lined up very well. Whereas when they start to go up, but the fundamentals don't line up, I start to lose my own trace of what's going on. So I just don't know what the fundamentals are truly to line up with this bull move. I mean, to me, you'd have to go, okay, supply chain solved, everything's open, everybody's working around the clock, everything's good, solved. And then Evergrande comes out and goes, oh, we had this other, $500 billion sitting underneath our bed. We forgot about, all good, solved. Inflation, don't worry about it. We worked it out with China and the rest of the world. No big deal. We're balancing the books. We're going to buy more bonds or not buy more bonds. It's all good. Solved. These are big issues that need to be addressed. And
I mean, the only thing I've read on them so far is China has said that it's contained. You're like, cool. What does that mean?
Yeah, but we're all like, come on. Come on. What is that? We don't really believe you, right?
I want to believe you.
That's when they were like, yeah, we weren't spying on you with those, those parts. Come on, we told you we weren't spying. Trust us.
Yeah. And that's not a knock on China. That's a knock on any country that.
Yeah, I mean, what are we gonna say? Oh, yep, it was us. But it's also the United States isn't gonna come out during 2008 and go, look, guys, we are effed. We are just straight up effed.
Right.
Don't panic, but we're effed. Oh, and then China's not gonna come out and go, yeah, we are toast. They're gonna come out and do the only option. They're gonna go, we're gonna tell everybody it's okay, while we try to figure out how to make this okay.
That's exactly what I think it is. I think they're trying to contain the panic because you know what? Maybe it will be okay, right? Maybe they are going to come up with a plan, but do I think they have a plan and that they can say for sure it's contained? That I think is a load of BS.
Yeah, I don't think they know. I don't think anybody knows. I don't think anybody really knows how far this goes until the deep. But isn't this week the week that we're 30 days out from Evergrande? Wasn't it 20 or next week, 28th?
I want to say it's. I think it's the start of next week. So I think it lines up more with Mark Weiser timeline.
So Mark Weiser still Mark Weiser call. Are we going to call this the Wise crash? The Weiser crash? I don't know. I think his last name there's some, and even Mark, you can make your Mark, there's something here we can make a name for this crash. I don't know what it is though.
I think we find out on the 22nd. So Friday could be, a day to watch here. And that would lead us right into next week, which would fall in the Mark's Mark.
Mark's Mark. Mark, the wise Mark. The wise Mark's Mark. I don't know. Mark, come on. You've been living with this name your whole life. You've got something fancy in there. I know you do.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I'd say, whatever it is, if there is going to be something on supply shortage, we don't know what the impact is. All I do know, my gas is going up again. It was $3.70 yesterday.
Mark says extend and pretend. I'm pretty sure the show that is not safe for work, and this is not a Viagra commercial, Mark. I don't know where you're going with this, but extend and pretend. I don't know what to tell you. So, as far as gas going up, yeah, you're going to pay more. We haven't seen $5 a gallon, so they haven't shut down trucking companies yet. I think one thing is going to be interesting is it's just starting to get cold. So you're going to start to see the supply chain issues with heat hitting people's houses and people going, oh man, my gas bill's like $1,500.
Especially in the Northeast. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just starting to cool off. So I think we'll start to split. I don't know. Let's see what this next. We're gonna do this show for the next week and a half on this chart. I mean, I would continue to do it every day for the rest of my life because I just enjoy it. But I don't think that. Maybe we'll do some. Maybe after next week, if we're not in a straight death spiral, I'll bring up the REIT, the REIT. So those are like real estate charts. So charts that correspond to real estate, and we can talk about that on a day-to-day basis because there's some stuff going on there too. I was just using the Dow as like the overview right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been no secret we've been on crash watch, right? We've been seeing what's going to go on this month.
Suicide watch, right?
We still got 10 days left, though. You know, that's. I mean, look what just happened in 10 days. It went up 10 days. It could easily just go the other way in 10 days. So, definitely still keeping our eye on the storm, and we'll go from there.
Cool. All right. Well, we'll check in tomorrow. We'll see if the Fed just keeps pumping money in there today.
Cool. Sounds good.
Later. Yep.